John Hopkins Middle School in St. Petersburg, Florida, has had 18 arrests so far this year for fighting and teacher battery, according to Pinellas County school records. In 2009-2010 school year, the National Center for Education Statistics reported double the amount of violent incidents in middle school than in high school. In that same year, John Hopkins had more than 100 arrests. Fights are a big thing that happen at every middle school.
I've been in 2 fights out of this year, 2011, because about drama and rumors spreading around school talking about this girl wanted to fight me, stuff like that. And I honestly didn't really care. I just wanted to keep fighting because it's in my blood.
Although John Hopkins is a magnet school for the arts and communication, 77% of its students live at or below the poverty line. The neighborhood surrounding the school has a history of violence and crime.
I do believe that schools are a microcosm of society, which means that if you put a school in the middle of a community, and I can almost guarantee that things that are going on within that community will carry over into the school.
I've been here going on 13 years, and I've been here when there's been Asian gangs, neighborhood gangs. I've been here through all of it. When you have a disagreement in the neighborhood, the easiest place to find the person is at school because you all go to school together. It just makes it a common place for you to settle your disagreements.
59% of the students that go to John Hopkins live within walking distance to the school. The Citrus Grove apartment complex right across the street has seen its share of violent crimes. In 2010, a police officer was shot and killed in the neighborhood. While police searched for the suspect, John Hopkins was closed for the day and students had to go to another school. After a day of searching, 16-year-old Nicholas Lindsay was caught and charged with the officer's murder. Lindsay is a former student at John Hopkins Middle School.
Our kids do a pretty good job of learning those rules in the community, in the neighborhood, the do's, the don'ts. And part of the problem comes in where kids take those rules from the community and try to apply them within this setting, and they don't work.
I get mad quick, so I just be ready to hit something or fight somebody or just take out my anger out on kids or teachers.
A lot of the situations that we have, particularly on our campus, are situations that have started off campus where students have had a situation playing in their neighborhood the night before and there's some sort of disagreement, and then when they come to school, by the time they've gotten to school, other students have heard about it, and then it's mushroomed into an event where now they're so angry about it and they don't know how to talk about it with anybody, they just want to fight.
Students at John Hopkins say that by the time most students fight, they usually don't even know what they're fighting for.
The fight started when I walked in the cafeteria. It went for my lunch period. I had B lunch and the girl had A lunch. And I guess I was already heated up by before third period. I never made it to fourth period that day. We were arguing. Arguing. People was hard to hold, people holding both of us back. For some reason, I got loose from that girl that was holding me back, and I just started tagging that girl.
A lot of times when someone says something about someone else, they feel like the easiest way to solve the situation is to fight about it, which doesn't solve anything. It just leads to another fight because if someone loses, they want to fight until they win.
So far this year, there have been 4 incidents of a teacher assaulted by a student.
Remember we talked about that in the last section?
6th grade geography teacher Claire Lynch was shoved out the way while trying to stop a fight.
I had 2 students in class that were getting into an argument because one student said something about the other student's mother, and they began chasing each other around the room. I tried to intervene and stop the students. One student ran behind my desk. I tried to block the other student from getting back at my desk, and he grabbed me and tried to pull me out of the way.
According to the principal, John Hopkins has had an increased number of teacher assaults because teachers are trying to prevent violence.
The school board has placed me in a position, as well as our assistant principals and teachers, in a position to enforce district policies and procedures.
According to John Hopkins staff, middle school is an important time in a student's development to identify causes of violence and begin prevention strategies so the students can focus on their education.
Middle schools, they have a tendency of not caring, not realizing how serious it is. High school kids, they begin to get the picture that they have to do something with their life. They got to get an education to move on to do other things.
We have our prevention specialists who work with the students. They are in classrooms, and they go in and they do classrooms, and they visit them and talk to the students about ways to handle conflicts.
The administration has put prevention in place at the school, but they say it is important for parents and the community to help with prevention in their neighborhood.
The parents of the middle school students in this generation, I think being more of an advocate, being more involved, coming out, meeting your child's teacher, you've got to be involved, because if you're not an advocate for your child, you can't depend on the school system to do it.
In order to have a safe environment, we have to be able to put things in place, whether that means giving students consequences, suspending them, arresting them. If their act warrants it, we're going to carry it out.
Prevention measures seem to be making a difference. Last year, John Hopkins reported 57 arrests, about half the number from the year before. Arrest numbers continue to drop. If the pattern holds, arrests will be down by more than 25% at the end of the school year.
And I always tell my students that just because you're from the hood doesn't mean you have to act like it.
Reporting for the PBS NewsHour Student Reporting Labs and the J-Hop Times at John Hopkins Middle School in St. Petersburg, Florida, this is DeQuentin Davis.